you've worked on small films, big films, I mean, with a bunch of different directors. I mean, was there kind of one director that you kind of had as your mentor, somebody that kind of like gave you some sort of advice?
That's tough. I mean, I've worked with so many good directors, and these directors are so far beyond my ability. But I certainly have a good friendship with some of them. The Edgar Wright and the Russos, and they just kind of said, listen, just lean on people. You don't. I think I don't know if that's necessarily what they do in their lives. I don't think they need to, but I think the best advice they could give a first timer is don't pretend to know it all, because I don't. You're surrounded by people who are talented and who are very experienced in their own department, and utilize their talent.
And what was it about the script that actually made you connect with it, that you were like,
Sure.
This is actually going to be my first one?
Well, there was a lot of things that needed to be done with the script. The original script was a great script written by Ron Bass, but the original draft was very much about kind of all the hijinks that could happen with two people stranded in New York, and it felt it was very sweet, but it felt very rom-com-y and kind of situational, and that was great. But we tried to kind of take some of the hijinks out and add a little more human conflict. But I mean that was a process in itself. That was probably the trickiest process in all of it, was getting the script somewhere that worked. But it really was just a project that I found to be completely candid, manageable. You're trying to find something for your first time out that I just don't want to drown out there. And having two people and in a finite amount of time, it just felt like a very achievable first outing, just to get my feet wet.
And you were saying the hardest part in directing was basically the script, right?
For this project, yeah. I mean, I was anticipating the hurdles of being an actor and a director, and just the limited amount of days to film and the limited amount of days to edit. But none of those things really seemed to be a problem. What ended up being our biggest challenge was what was on the page. Trying to make sure the script was the best possible version, because it did go through a lot of incarnations, and just trying to make sure that was working was a challenge.
And was there something kind of surprising that actually ended up being a lot simpler and easier than you thought it would be?
Yeah, I mean, I think just pinballing back and forth between actor and director, I thought that was going to be a bit of a nightmare, but I'm such a lunatic control freak that it actually was quite enjoyable.